Whenever we talk about AI, it feels like the conversation almost always leans toward doom and gloom. But what if that's the completely wrong way to look at it? What if AI is actually our best shot at cleaning up the chaotic, noisy internet that, let's be honest, we're all a little tired of? That's really the heart of William L. Weaver's piece, So Long and Thanks for All the Bots, and it offers this surprisingly optimistic take on our digital future. So Weaver kicks things off, not with code, not with algorithms, but with something way more personal. By starting with his own 60th birthday, he's telling us, hey, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is the culmination of a lifetime spent watching technology's incredible promise get, well, a lot more complicated. So to really get a grip on where we're going, Weaver says we gotta look back at where we've been. He actually maps his own life against some of technology's biggest moments. And in doing so, he creates this parallel history of how humans and machines have evolved together. And this timeline, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? Back in the 60s and 70s, we were all looking up at the stars, inspired by Apollo and Voyager. The 80s, that was the age of hardware, real, tangible, heavy machines. And then, from the 90s on, the whole frontier shifted inward, to the motherboard, to the quiet power of code. But you know what the common thread was through all of this? It was an age of building. Technology was about creating tools to solve actual problems. But yeah, that golden age of building, it didn't last. The signal got completely buried under the noise. Weaver calls the time we're in now the middle muddle, that period where the internet's promise of connection and knowledge got twisted, leaving most of us just feeling kind of lost and frustrated. And right at the heart of this whole mess is a fundamental switch-up. The internet was supposed to be about enlightenment, helping us learn, helping us think better. Instead, its algorithms got laser-focused on one thing: engagement. And it turns out, the easiest way to get engagement? Well, it's a cocktail of dopamine hits and pure rage. So the tools that were supposed to help us build things, they started programming us to just react. And this opened up a Pandora's box of problems. First up, the explosion of artificial amplification. We're talking about armies of bots designed to make crazy ideas seem popular and to just shout down any real conversation. Then comes the next wave, the intentional, and hey, very profitable, spread of misinformation. Because when engagement is the only thing that matters, the truth just becomes an obstacle. Stories designed to provoke and divide us just spread like wildfire. And all of this leads to the final ugly result. We get sorted into these angry tribes. We've been trained to react in these short bursts of outrage, and the space for any kind of thoughtful, nuanced conversation, it's pretty much gone. Okay, so this quote, it's a perfect reference from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the dolphins just peace out right before Earth gets destroyed. And Weaver's using it to signal a huge turning point. He's saying, hey, we've had enough. We're finally ready to say goodbye to this whole chaotic mess. Okay, and this is where the whole thing flips on its head. For years, we've been worried that AI would just bury us in spam and chaos. But Weaver argues the exact opposite is true. He's saying that AI isn't the big bad wolf we've been told it is. In fact, it might just be the only shield we've got. So the tech he's talking about is called agentic systems. But forget the jargon. Just think of them as your personal AI agent, like a bodyguard for your brain, whose only job is to look out for your best interests online, not the interests of some giant engagement algorithm. So, what's the main job of these agents? Weaver calls it the truth filter. And that metaphor of a digital immune system, it's perfect, right? Its whole purpose is to spot and neutralize the viruses, the misinformation, the rage bait, before they ever get a chance to infect your thinking. All right, so what does this actually look like in practice? It's pretty simple. Step 1. You just ask your personal agent a question. Anything. Step 2, it goes out and just scrubs the whole internet for you. Step 3, it's smart enough to see the bot networks and the rage bait traps, and it just dismantles them. And step 4, you get the signal, not the noise. You get the actual information you were looking for. Now, of course, a shift this massive, it's not going to happen without a fight, right? Weaver tells us to get ready for the friction of re-entry, because the current system has made a lot of people a lot of money, and you can bet they're not going to go quietly. And Weaver basically gives us a playbook for the backlash. He predicts exactly what the arguments are going to be. So when you hear them screaming censorship, what they really mean is, my bot farms are being shut down. When they cry elitist gatekeeping, they're actually saying, my ability to manufacture virality is gone. And when they complain about a sterile internet, what they mean is they can't sell raw toxicity as authenticity anymore. And his point here is just razor sharp. These complaints, they're not a sign that the system is broken. They're proof that it's finally working. So let's say we get through all that friction. What's on the other side? What does the internet look like after all this chaos, once the artificial noise is gone? Well, Weaver paints a really hopeful picture. I mean, this line says it all, doesn't it? The tantrums, the drama, the desperate need for attention, that whole chaotic phase is finally coming to a close. It's time for the grown-ups, both the human ones and the silicon ones, to step in. So what's left when you strip away the noise? Well, it's a return to what the internet was supposed to be about in the first place. We get a real meritocracy, where the best ideas actually win, not just the loudest ones. We get a system that rewards the builders and creators again, not the rage merchants. A system that rewards the explorers and the risk-takers. And maybe most importantly, we get our tools back. Tools that are designed to help us think better, not just react faster. And that really brings us to the final question Weaver leaves us with. And it's a big one. It's not a question about fear. It's about potential. When all the manufactured outrage, all the bots, and all the noise are finally filtered out of our digital lives, what kind of world will we be inspired to build?